Okay people, I've been really impressed with your response to Sherlock Tones 1. Now we need to take this a little step further and create tones out of semitones. So if you didn't get the answer to the riddle, it's one semitone plus one semitone equals one tone. So if you're going to answer part 1 of the question paper correctly, here's how you're going to go about it. Let's use the example on the sheet. A. So first off, we locate A. C is to the left of the two black keys. We use our alphabet. C, D, E, F, G. Musical alphabet starts again. That gives us an A. Quite loud, sorry about that. So it's one semitone plus one semitone equals a tone. So let's ascend up the keyboard because that's the example. So we're going to go one semitone up from there. And then we need to do that again. Okay? So the answer would be B. B is one tone up from A. Now there's a nice neat little way to check. If you imagine holding both notes down at the same time, you will end up with one spare flappy note in the middle. So I've got an example ready here. If you have a look at the G, I will play the G, it will then move through the semitone and then finish on the next note here. You will see you've got one spare flappy note in the middle. Just testing. Right, so one spare flappy note. Okay, that also works on black keys. One spare flappy note, so we know that that is the good answer. And you've also got to be careful about black to white, like this one. So you've got one spare flappy note in the middle, so we know that's an interval of a tone. Right, for part 2 of the test, you need to work out the code for a major scale, which will always be a set pattern of tones or semitones. You can create a scale out of just semitones. We call those chromatic scales. They sound like this. And we do have our uses for those. You'll hear a lot of 20th century music and jazz music that uses whole tone scales. They sound like this. But most of the time we'll use major scales, or it's like a sister scale called a minor scale, and they are a very set pattern of tones and semitones. Now conveniently, if you go from C to C and just use white notes on the keyboard, you will get a major scale called C major. Sounds like this. And that is the correct pattern of tones and semitones to get you a major scale. If you know what that code is, you can then start on any note. It doesn't matter if it's a white or black note, and if you follow the sequence of tones and semitones, you will get a major scale. And this means we can be a lot more colourful and imaginative with our music writing. So how are you going to do the questions? You'll see that it's listed C to D. So what I would ask you to do is then find a C on the keyboard, and then you need to work out when you go to a D, is that a tone or a semitone? And then you underline the correct answer. So C to D. Do you have a spare flappy note in the middle? If so, then you put tone. If you don't, then you put semitone. And there will be a combination of tones and semitones, so it can't just be tones all the way through. Alright? Sherlock Tones 1 went really well. This one's slightly trickier. I hope you get on with it okay. Email your answers to me at the usual place. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe and do all that YouTubery stuff. Thank you very much people, and goodbye.